I saw his legs hanging from the palm tree for hours. At first, we thought he was just walking, tapping like usual. But something felt off. His body didn't move the way it used to. The rope didn't shift, the tree felt too still. And the worst part. His legs were swinging gently like something was pushing them, but there was no wind. My name is Ebuka. I was 14 when it happened. I grew up in a village called Umuokoro, deep in the southeastern part of Nigeria. We didn't have electricity then, no phones, just word of mouth and the sound of the ojin, gong, when the town crier had news. This story is not made up. It really happened. People still talk about it in low voices whenever palm wine is served. In our village, there was a man named Ogadike. If you ask anyone from Umuokoro about him, the first thing they'll say is, yes, he made the best palm wine, and then they'll go quiet for a bit before continuing. He wasn't old, maybe in his late 40s, but his face looked worn, like something was chewing away at him from the inside. He had these deep eyes that didn't blink much and a voice that felt like it could command spirits. He was the only palm wine tapper around. His wine. Sweet, thick, and powerful. People from neighboring villages came with clay pots and even metal buckets just to buy from him. But even though his wine was loved, he was feared. Dike was wicked. There's no better word. He beat his apprentice for simple mistakes. He insulted women in the market. He once kicked a dog so hard it limped forever. People said he even cursed a man who tried to tap palm trees near his own, and that man went blind in one eye a few days later. The elders warned him several times. I remember one village meeting when Pajelucheku, the oldest man in Umuokoro, said, "Dike, you cannot carry evil and expect the gods to carry you." Dike just laughed. He said, "Even the gods drink my wine. They won't touch me." People didn't challenge him again after that. He moved through the village like a shadow. Everyone respected him, but only because they were scared. The day it happened. It was a Tuesday morning. I remember because my school uniform was torn, and I had stayed home while my mother patched it. I was walking to the stream to fetch water when I saw Dike climbing the tallest palm tree near the village square. That tree was something else, almost like it touched the sky. Most tappers avoided it because it was slippery and too high. But Dike liked to boast. He always said, "Only real men tap from that one." I watched him tie his rope around the trunk and rise, inch by inch, like a lizard. He got to the top in no time. I waved out of habit. He didn't wave back. No surprise there. I went to the stream, filled my 2 yellow jerrycans, and returned about an hour later. He was still there. Same spot. Same rope. Same posture. I squinted. His body hadn't moved. Not even once. Something prickled my skin. Later that afternoon, I passed by again. This time with my friend Chinidu. We had gone to buy palm kernel oil for his mother. I said, "He's still up there." Chinidu frowned. "He hasn't come down since morning." "Nope." We both stared. "He's dead," Chinidu whispered suddenly. I felt my stomach twist. The words felt too sharp, too real. But he wasn't lying. We dropped our baskets and ran to get the elders. Soon, a crowd gathered. Some thought he was stuck. Others thought he was resting. Some shouted up, telling him to come down. No answer. Finally, Okonkwo the hunter, the only man brave enough, climbed halfway up with a rope tied to his waist and called down. "He's dead." The women screamed. They brought him down that evening. His body was stiff. Eyes wide open, as if he had seen something terrible right before he died. There were no wounds, no blood, no sign of a struggle. Just lifeless. And what was worse, his calabash was still full. Untouched palm wine, thick and white. They buried him before sunset, as tradition required. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. The secret under the bed. That evening, while the men were still pouring sand over Dike's grave, his niece, Amarochi, ran out of his house screaming. She lived with him and usually stayed quiet. But that day, her mouth wouldn't stop shaking. She said she had heard whispers at night for months, voices speaking strange languages, the sound of someone crying under the floorboards, even footsteps around the compound when no one was there. No one believed her before. But now they did. She had gone into his room to collect her belongings. That's when she looked under the bed. There was a sack, old and covered in dust. Inside were tied bundles of cloth, red feathers, nails, animal bones, and worse, locks of human hair and fingernails. Some of the cloth pieces had names written on them in charcoal. One of those names was Motsiobi, the elder who had warned him months ago. Another name was Obina, the boy who went blind in one eye. The priest refused to touch the sack. Said it was dark juju, the type that eats your soul slowly. It was buried deep in the forest by men who fasted for 3 days before touching it. After Dyke died, strange things stopped happening. No more strange sounds. The stream, which had been drying mysteriously, returned to normal. Even the tall palm tree stopped producing wine, like it had given its final gift and shut down. No one taps from that tree anymore. It stands alone, quiet, like a warning. I still walk the long way to the stream. Sometimes I pass children playing near the tree and I tell them not to go close. I don't say why. I just say. Some people climb trees and don't come down the same. Some things are better left buried. Even if they are still hanging.